You're awake right now. You're listening to this, and you're thinking about what it all means. But here's the crazy part. We still don't really know how any of that actually works. You're not just some advanced robot processing information. You feel things. You have memories that make you smile. You daydream. That's consciousness, this vivid inner world we all experience. Scientists can map brain activity, study neurons, and measure reactions. But that feeling of being you? That remains one of science's biggest unsolved puzzles. So let's count down the 10 weirdest things about consciousness that still keep researchers up at night. R10. Your brain isn't just a supercomputer. We love comparing brains to computers, but here's the thing. Your laptop doesn't feel anything when it processes data. Your brain? It takes electrical signals and somehow creates the entire experience of being alive. We can see which brain areas light up when you think or feel, but no scan shows us why those signals come with an inner movie starring, well, you. It's like having all the sheet music for a symphony, but no explanation for why we hear the music. 9. The where question still stumps us. Okay, consciousness lives in the brain, but where exactly? Some researchers point to the wrinkly outer layer, the cortex. Others argue it's deeper in the thalamus, your brain's central switchboard for sensory info. Here's the weird part. People can lose chunks of their brain and still stay fully conscious. If consciousness had a simple off switch in one spot, we'd have found it by now. It's like trying to find where a song lives in a piano. The music emerges from all the keys working together, not from any single note. 8. We can't measure it directly. Science runs on measurements, right? Temperature, speed, brain waves. But consciousness? No meter for that. We basically have to take people's word for it when they say they're conscious. And with patients in comas or under anesthesia. Sometimes their brains look active, but they report no awareness. Other times it's the reverse. Without an objective way to measure the inner experience, we're stuck making educated guesses. 7. Dreams break all the rules. Ever had a dream where you're flying over your childhood home while talking to your third-grade teacher, who's suddenly a giant squirrel? Makes zero sense, but in the moment, felt completely real. That's consciousness pulling its weirdest trick, creating full experiences without any input from the outside world. Your brain can generate love, fear, even physical sensations, all while you're safely asleep. 6. Animal consciousness throws us for a loop. Dolphins recognize themselves in mirrors. Elephants mourn their dead. Octopuses solve complex puzzles. Are they conscious like us? They certainly seem to have some inner experience, but since we can't ask them, it becomes this philosophical puzzle. If consciousness exists across species, where do we draw the line? And yes, this does make that lobster tank at the seafood restaurant suddenly feel complicated. 5. Split brains? Split minds? Some epilepsy patients have had the connection between their brain hemispheres severed. What happens next is mind-blowing. The right hand might pick up a pencil while the left hand tries to put it down, like two separate minds in one body. The person remains fully conscious, but parts of their brain literally can't talk to each other anymore. This makes us wonder, is consciousness a single unified thing, or more like a team of specialists that usually work together? 4. When does it start? Newborn babies react to the world, but are they conscious? What about in the womb? There's no clear on switch for consciousness. It seems to emerge gradually as brain connections form. But that leads to uncomfortable questions. If you don't remember being a baby, was baby you truly conscious? And yes, this is exactly why robot consciousness in movies always gets so philosophical. 3. The no-brain possibility. Octopuses have neurons distributed throughout their arms, meaning each arm might have its own awareness. Some theories even suggest consciousness could be a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity. This panpsychism idea sounds wild, but it would explain why consciousness emerges so easily in biological systems. Maybe the brain doesn't create consciousness. Maybe it channels what's already there. 2. Scientists can't even agree what it is. You'd think we'd have a solid definition by now. Nope. Some researchers focus on information processing. Others study self-awareness. Some look at how the brain integrates data. Without agreement on what we're even studying, making progress is like trying to build a car when no one can agree what a car should do. Number 1. The ultimate existential question. Here's the big one. Why does consciousness exist at all? Your body could theoretically function just fine without any inner experience. Robots can navigate the world without feeling anything. So why are we stuck with this constant inner monologue? Maybe it helps us plan for the future. Maybe it builds empathy. Or maybe it's just the universe's way of experiencing itself. The craziest part? You're experiencing consciousness right now as you process these words. That feeling of being you? That's the very mystery we're talking about. So here we are, conscious beings trying to understand consciousness itself. We've mapped the brain down to individual neurons. And yet that inner spark remains elusive. Maybe we'll crack it next year. Maybe we never will. But the very fact that we can ponder this mystery, that might be the most amazing proof of all. If this video made you think, and let's face it, how could it not? Hit like, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments. What's your take on consciousness? Because honestly, we could use all the theories we can get.